Breaking news.
Breaking tonight from Arizona, new information from the Maricopa County deputies about the homicide investigation into a teenager found dead in a bonfire pile.
Investigators have identified the body of 18-year-old Parker League from Nebraska. He was found dead and his body burned in Lost Dutchman State Park back on June 12th. The Maricopa County Sheriff's Office confirms he was visiting from Nebraska, but they haven't said who he was there to see.
It's still not clear how Parker's body ended up at the burn pit. Sheriff's deputies are calling his death malicious.
Cell phones, computers, that's going to reveal a lot of information. It's going to take some time to recover and extract the data from those devices. If they were destroyed in the fire or some other way, that data might still be available.
Eagleston says he expects investigators to survey the burn pit for clues and survey security footage. Parker was reported missing by a family member 3 days after his body was found.